Matthew, great to have you on. You were, of course, the man to really coin the term the left behinds, describing a demographic of Britain who really gets swept under the carpet when it comes to things like politics and considerations of policy making. Are we possibly talking about essentially the same group of people here?
I think we're probably talking about their children, Alex. We're talking about young, typically white working class children who rely on free school meals. And we're comparing their performance within the education system to children from other ethnic groups. So this is data just out from the Department for Education, and it paints a pretty depressing picture, to be honest. If you look at those white working class kids relative to their counterparts in other groups, they're not just failing to reach the most elite universities, they're much less likely to make it into university at all, much less likely to do well at GCSEs, much less likely to do well in subjects like mathematics, science and English. And while this has been true for a long time, this is actually now the first time that overall white pupils have fallen behind every other group. So, you know, there's clearly a problem, something's going on, and we need to really get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is going on? I assume there's probably multiple factors behind these statistics, whether it's diversity drives at some of the top universities or the fact that perhaps certain pupils are just invisible in the education system. What would be your read of the situation?
Well, I sat on the Education Committee last year where we published a report on this very issue, actually warning that it was probably going to get worse before it gets better. And we pointed to a number of things. One is the role of family in the education system. A lot of white working class kids come from families that have broken down, living with a single mum or single dad, and so they don't have that support network at home that, say, other children from other groups might have. We also pointed to the way in which different communities tend to put a different value on the importance of education and the importance of aspiration. So if you look, for example, at how well Chinese children have been doing or Black African children have been doing relative to their white working class counterparts, we think, you know, the importance of aspiration and putting a premium on the education system is part of that. Thirdly, if I'm being honest with you, Alex, I think, you know, we also pointed to the unhelpful language that we use now to describe things like you know, white privilege and white guilt and institutional racism and all of these narratives that, you know, I think you can make a convincing case for them really removing people's sense of agency, that people feel that they're not really respected in society anymore, and probably then, you know, are encouraged further to believe that they can't do well in the system. So I think we ultimately need to take a step back, look at a number of these different factors, and try and find some political leaders who are actually willing to do something about it.